Hello. Another amazing episode. What we have here in the She Knows What Works podcast. This is your host, Agnes Bogardi. I'm your business consultant and VA matchmaker. And as usual, we have something special for you guys. Another process just to make sure that we showcase people who are delivering massive results. And today, the topic is passive income stream, and we have Alicia here. Hi, Alicia, how are you?
Hi, it's great to be here, Agnes. Thank you for having me.
Where do we start with passive
Right.
income, right? I know with passive income, and actually the whole show is about or came to life because of that. That people lost trust in so many things online these days, right? And I kind of felt the urge and was pretty sad when I've seen my clients and most of the people who are actually delivering results and know that they can, if the client does the work, right? They know that they can do so many things for people who are struggling with X, Y, and Z, but because of the industry, because of the I don't know, bad experiences they went through, they don't trust the coach, the provider, the freelancer, and so on and so forth. So do tell, let's get started with where you got started and how you ended up in the industry, what you are doing, and then we go from there.
All right. Well, yeah. So first thing I want to share is that, I've gone through a lot and I'm at the point in my life where I really do love my life and I really do enjoy life.
Yeah.
And I'm living the life of my dreams. It's been a circuitous ride to get here, but, I recently relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina in the United States. And I talked my daughters into moving with me, and my grandkids are here. My one daughter has a cat. I don't know about you cat people, but I wish she would have prepared me a little better about living with a cat. The cat runs my house. I thought I was the queen of the castle, but anyway, that's a whole nother
Oh,
subject,
no, no.
right? Right. No. So I love it, love my life. And, I get to wake up in the morning and take my grandkids to school and come home and play with my grandbaby and work if I want to. And if I don't, I work because I'm called to and because I love to and because I love helping people. But I've come to the point financially where honestly, I just don't have to. And, I travel the world and I get to fund vacations for my family, and I even include my ex-husband on those trips.
That's a different conversation.
I know, right? That's a whole nother conversation. But because I truly want my family to be together. But, I've been able to retire from the hustle and grind and truly live a life of ease and flow. And of course, it hasn't always been that way, right? I was raised like a lot of people in kind of that middle class family. My stepdad worked first shift, my mom worked third shift to make sure, somebody was always home, right? They worked hard. And that's what they taught us to do. They taught us to work hard. And the goal was you get good grades, right? You go to school, you go to college, you get a better job than what they have, so you don't have to work so hard. And so that's what I did. I got a scholarship to college. I graduated, I got married, I had 4 kids in 4.5 years. That's a whole nother story, whole nother topic. But I became a stay-at-home mom after that. I did work in pharmaceutical sales for a few years, but then when we had all those kids, it just made more sense to stay at home, right? And life was comfortable. He made a good living and we lived off of one income. And now, I'm living that typical United States kind of American middle class dream, right? You got the house and the kids and the 2 cars and the dogs, picket fence type of life. And it was going good. It was right. It was going good until one day it wasn't. And my husband at the time lost his job. And almost overnight, and I was working part-time, just part-time, a little here and there, but almost overnight, I became the sole provider for the family. And that was devastating, right? I was not making enough money, and there was just a lot of pressure put on me. And just year after year after year, it just was a downhill. There was foreclosure, repossession, bankruptcy, divorce, the whole nine. And so I found myself with 4 kids, you know, a single mom. And what I did, what I knew to do, I got more education. So I got not one, but 2 master's degrees. And then I got not one, but 2 jobs because I'm also a hard worker, right? So I'm working hard and they're in college, I'm in college. Oh yeah, it was a fun time. And you know, that again, middle class, working hard. I did what I was taught to do. And so long story short, I I still was I was still working hard. And one day I went to get some food and my account was wiped out. You know, I had a cart full of groceries and was told my card was declined. And so here I am. I'm like, what's going on? I work for a bank. I knew I got paid that day, right? But come to find out, the IRS had wiped out my account for all of my ex-husband's tax liens. And so here I am, right? All this hard work, all this education. And I find myself for the first time in my adult life, literally penniless, first time have to beg people for money. And I vowed to myself to never be in that situation again. I didn't know what I had to do, but I knew working hard and I knew education was not the answer. And so I, through a, you know, series of fortunate events, I wound up getting recruited as a financial advisor because one of those master's degrees I got was in finance. Lo and behold, right? And it was in that job that I realized all that I did not know about money. I learned how they keep secrets from the normal people, right? You know, I learned how the wealthy are making their money. I realized they're playing chess while we're playing checkers. And also in that role, I saw so many women who just did not, and that's my burden, is more so women, but the principles apply to everybody, right? But I saw women who just did not have a handle on their money, who did not know how to invest, who were intimidated by investing, right? There really was a white male patriarchal hierarchy when it came to finance, right? Those all the people you see teaching you everything, telling you don't buy shoes and lattes, right? That was the thing. And I realized there was a need, there was a gap. There was a need for somebody who could explain things on a simple level, who could understand where women were coming from, and who knew the secrets, right? And who could teach the secrets, and who really had a heart for women. Because I believe women, anybody, but this is, you know, Women's Month, but I believe that women with wealth have the power to change the world. And I believe that women who know how to invest and manage their money really develop an unshakable confidence in themselves and their financial futures. And I believe that no matter how old you are, you know, as long as you're breathing, it's not too late to reach your dreams. And so that's kind of how I came to be where I am. I started my own business after a few years. I left that. And I've just been so excited to teach people the process that I learned, the steps that I learned, and how to create passive income, because that's what the wealthy do.
It's an amazing story, and I bet you are not alone with that, right? I bet that there are hundreds and hundreds of, if not millions of women out there who have no grip of their finances or the family finances at all, right? They don't even see, they don't even know the husband is doing what he is doing. And I heard stories like that a lot, and it's just until shit hits the fan, right? Everything is dandy. But that's the point, right? Where you don't want to find out from what are you made of, right? That's the point where you don't want to stay there alone and start thinking. So I guess that's just a matter of really in time starting to prepare so you don't need to prepare, or how do I put it?
Yeah, they say get ready, so stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Ahead of time.
Yeah, exactly. So the question is, right, and I admire, right, the topic and your drive to help women. because I believe too that this is the time where we need to shift into our power and need to take over, because there is nothing wrong with men, and I do love them, but
Right.
at the end of the day, I think our magic needs to be added to the mix, so it balances out. And there are so many women out there alone standing, or really in places where nobody should be, with
Right.
children alone, with loans and stuff like that, and debt. And okay, my first question is, right, we lost a little trust in the whole financial things and all the, yes, passive income, and yes, this and that. So the first question is it really possible
To create passive
to
income?
create the passive income?
Absolutely, right? Absolutely it is. And you're right, there are a lot of get rich quick kind of schemes out there, or a lot of, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. A lot of schemes, a lot of misinformation. And yes, it's possible, because I went from bankrupt to creating a multi-million-dollar portfolio where I get 5 figures passive income every month. So it's possible, it's absolutely possible, but it takes some discipline, of course. It takes some knowledge. It takes a lot of things, which, we can talk about a little bit more if you want, but yeah, it's absolutely possible.
Okay, so no matter where you are at, no matter how old you are, no matter when you are getting started with it, but just get started, right? It's like
Absolutely.
today, that's it.
Absolutely.
Today we need to get started with it. Is it only applicable for the US? As I'm in Europe, right? And so many other people all around the world. Can you help only US people, or the actual process, right, and the idea is implementable in all around the world?
Absolutely, because although, yeah, I'm focused, obviously here in the US, and, I'm well versed in the US stock market. There are global stocks, there are stock exchanges all over the world, and the principles are the same.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so no matter where you are, no matter how old you are, just get started. I love
Right.
that already opened up doors. And how do we need to? Okay, stock market, right? It's like, is it someone, if I send the money somewhere, do I have an account somewhere, like a bank account, or an online account, or how does that look like?
Yeah, so there are, worldwide brokerages. Again, I'm based here, but yeah, if you're nationwide, or I'm sorry, worldwide, global, I recommend a company called Interactive Brokers. That's one that's based. You can invest and trade worldwide. But yeah, just open up an account. It's really easy to get started. Most brokerages, you can start with a very minimal amount, but you just want to get started. And I recommend what's called index funds, which, you can get my freebie a little later, and it explains all of that. But, just get a basic fund to start with. But then if you want to grow from there, yeah, I recommend, getting somebody to help you with that.
To actually
Someone like, and trust.
Yeah, it's not like just throwing the
Right.
spaghetti to the wall, and then it happens. Okay, so that's quite promising, I guess, right? And I assume you set goals, and you you look at the finances, right? How does that work if
Right.
if someone starts working with you?
Yeah, first thing we do, and I know you've, probably heard it, but it does require a mindset shift. It really does. Because one of the things you have to do if you want to create passive income is to understand it's not something you're going to work for, right? And a lot of I learned from that middle class type of mindset to the wealth mindset, you have to get over that I have to work so hard for it. Right? I'm working the 1 and the 2 jobs and thinking that's what's going to do it. And that's just not it. Right? And also, I've learned as women, oftentimes the shift we have to make is to prioritize ourselves and our futures. because we tend to, right? We, especially in my age group, we may be taking care of elderly parents, we have kids, we have grandkids, you know, we have all these competing priorities for our time and our money. And it requires a shift to really prioritizing ourselves, which is kind of hard sometimes, right? Because that's not how we're conditioned. But that's the first shift. We got to make a mind shift into not working so hard and also to prioritizing ourselves. And then you have to gain the skills that you need, right? That's the second part of it. It's easy to, like you said, just kind of put some money here and there and see what sticks, but you need to really gain a little bit of knowledge. And I think that's part of the problem that people have, is that they kind of go into it and they don't really know what they're doing, or they're listening to here and there, or they're on YouTube University or going to Google Academy and trying to piece it all together, and they come up with, I don't know what they come up with, but it doesn't work, right? So just getting the skills you need, and then once you do that, having some type of strategy that you implement. So shift, skills, and strategy. That's kind of my three-part system when you come and work for me. So we give you those skills, and then we put a strategy in place. And it's a strategy for you, because not everybody, you know, personal finance is just that, it's personal. So what works for you may not work for someone else, and vice versa. So I look at where you are, and we come up with what we call a wealth plan. You know, we look at my wealth blueprint, and we go through the steps and see, you know, what you may be interested in investing in, some in the stock market, but there are other avenues of passive income as well. And so that's the process that I take people through, and we make sure whatever that goal is that you want for yourself in passive income every month, that we put you on a path to get you there.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, it's kind of the same with me, right? It's like we are strategizing, we are planning, we are building, and then we do what needs to get done, and then that's it. Love it. Are there certain things that you warn people? It's like, okay, I know that the internet is loud, and I know that people are saying this and that. What are some warnings you could give us? It's like, yeah, don't even touch that.
You know, that's hard, because every investment, right, has its place, right? Crypto has its place. Options has its place. They really do. And they can be very lucrative. But when you, I would say, yeah, that get rich quick. If it's like, I'm going to make you, you know, $100,000 in 30 days, or be a millionaire. Be careful of that thing inside of you that wants that quick money. I want it now, right? And then you're gonna, because if that's what you want, you're gonna be attracted to people that's gonna try to get you that, right? The same thing like in your business. If you think you're going to make, you know, $100,000 in 30 days or $1 million your first year out, and you meet somebody that tells you that, I don't know what we gonna be doing to get that $1 million in a year. I don't know what are you gonna be, you know, working in integrity? Are you doing, what are we doing? Because to do that, you know, is a stretch, right? It's a step-by-step process. So I would say really be wary of those get rich quick, you know, I'm gonna make you this overnight, and then kind of check them out, see if they have some history. And I think that's hard, because people now can like make up fake all kind of stuff, and it's hard to know, you know. But I'm like, let me talk to somebody. Let me really talk to, I want to just see these screenshots of these this fake. Let me talk to somebody then. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. And I still think that financial advisors have more of a word of mouth type of reputation as well, right? It's like during the weekend, I was just talking to someone, and we were talking about new opportunities, and so the scary part was that we both kind of being okay to taking the risk these days, right? So you are like, okay, I know I put this money aside to try, but we are okay with losing on things because we needed to get used to it, which is kind of sad, isn't it? That we are okay with losing and scamming and or being scammed and so on and so forth. It's like, that's sad.
Yeah, it really is. And I think, you know, on one hand, it's a good, how can I say? You do want to have money set aside, you know, for investing. And in some cases that you think, I don't know if this is going to go up or down. You got to have a little space for that. But you have to then have some investments that you know these are solid. These are companies that have been around for 150 years. They've been making people money all these 150 years or whatever. You have to have that too. But then you have to, maybe this little biotech company that's new, I don't know, right? And again, yeah, having somebody you can trust to kind of say, should I do this? You know, you don't want to be doing this with your bill money or whatever, this little, you know, iffy stuff, or, you know, your savings account money that you know, you need to have your emergency fund. You don't want to be taking that over here. But yeah, if you got a little extra that you, and you kind of don't know about the investment, but yeah, if you've got to worry about being scammed, that's it is kind of sad, Agnes.
Don't get me started on that.
Right. I got $5,000 waiting. I'm seeing if I'm gonna get
it's like, who takes it? Who takes it? How could you? Yeah, it's sad, isn't it?
It is. Oh, sorry.
The question, I guess, right? It's like, what is the, if we are not going for tomorrow, I will be rich and can quit my job type of situation, unfortunately, then what is the I like setting expectations properly. What is the time frame where you say it's like, okay, this is a healthy amount of money to put aside monthly, or start with a bigger investment and then monthly adding it, or obviously everyone how much you can afford and how much doesn't bring you or your family into trouble, obviously. And then I guess we need to stay the small prints as well, right? But what is the proper expectation? Let's say I'm 40, right? And I start, I guess, to need to think about before even having kids, right? To retirement and stuff like that. Although I love what I'm doing, so we are retired.
Yeah, it's, again, it's personal, but I will say, you know, I'll give an example of one of example. You know, when she came to me, she did have a nice amount, you know, she had 40,000 in a savings account, for example, and it was just kind of sitting there. And, you know, maybe making 2 or 3%. And I'm like, okay, Mary, you can do a little better than that. And so we wound up taking that, you know, 40,000 and, you know, investing it in something for her that was going to give her, you know, more of a return. But then she was 52 and she didn't want to be working forever, but she was she had a 7-year time frame that she wanted work to be optional for her. So that meant she had to contribute. She contributed about $1,500 a month, which is a lot. She started with 40. She contributed $1,500 a month, but in 7 years, so by the time she was 59, she had like 1.2 million. And with the right, exactly. So if you're 40, you know, and let's say you take half of that, or even if you don't start with the 40,000 and you can do 500 a month, you know, it may take you 15 years, right? So it kind of depends, but it's very, very doable. And so now, yeah, she can work is kind of optional for her. Now she's working because she wants to as well. And now that's just continuing to grow. But she could stop working now if she wanted to. So that's just one example. But yeah, you can kind of put your own self in there. And that's one of the things, you know, I have a program that we do. I have a wealth planner. We put in there what you're starting with now, what you want to have, and we kind of figure out what you need to contribute every month and what rate of return you need to be getting to get you to that goal.
So
So it's
there
very
are
doable.
still legit things out there which can give you more than 2% these days, right? It's
Absolutely.
crazy
Yeah,
that
because that's not going to get it.
sometimes you need to pay the bank that they keep your money, right? It's like
Exactly.
it's not even funny, right?
Right.
What
It's
the heck
very
is
true.
going on?
Yeah. Because you know, when you give the bank money, they just take your money and they lend it to people and they get interest, right? But they only give you.
I'm even, right? It's like we are talking about online business industry and even thinking about that these payment processor companies, right? Some of them takes a week to send you the money, and I'm like, oh yeah, that must be beautiful, right? From that amount of people, 1 week, the interest is yours. It's like
Yep.
it must be a great business to be in.
Must me. I know. I literally had that problem last week because I opened up something new, and I won't say who, but they all, they took like what they take 3 or 4%, and they were like, "Oh, because this is new, we're gonna hold your money for 21 days." I was like, "Oh, wait, oh, excuse me. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Why?"
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I've just went through that myself. We went through that with my clients, a different provider, different client, different amount of money. It's
Yep.
just I'm 100% sure that this is for them to meet the end goals or monthly goals or
End of the month. You're
goals.
right. It was the end of the month.
Yeah, right.
It was last week. Yeah.
Like when
Good
police
point.
goes out to hunt for tickets and stuff at the end of the month to meet
Right.
the standard.
Right.
It's like it's crazy, but then it is really nice to know that there are still legal legit businesses out there who actually
Right.
can set you up. Who is your ideal client? So it's like, am I able to start with $10, or you would say then, Agnes, spend it on coffee better?
Well, my ideal client is kind of that 40 to 60, kind of that Gen X, late, millennial type of age. Just someone who, and I like to deal with mature people, kind of been through some stuff.
Can relate.
Understand life.
Yeah.
Understand the struggle is real, right? Kind of people. Not, because I have like
I hope we are good. And it's just me.
my ideal client, and you can start with any amount, but someone that's just ready to make a change, that really understands it's a process, that understands it's not going to be overnight, and just ready to work, ready to do the work, make the shift, get the skills, and implement the strategy. Those are my ideal clients. And maybe women who feel behind on their goals, or women who are now in a position where they did defer to a partner, but now due to death, divorce, their own decision or whatever, they want to learn how to do this on their own, and they haven't given up on their dreams yet. Those are the types of women that I am just excited to work with.
Love it, love it. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of ladies who are just like, oh, okay, that's quite interesting. So if that's the case, then Alicia is your girl. We will link the freebie somewhere wherever you are watching. What is the freebie about? What can we learn?
Yeah, the freebie, it's called Create Wealth After 50. Again, the principles apply to anyone. 7 steps to success in the stock market. Start investing with less than $100. So the link that I put in there, or the broker that I recommend, you actually can start with like $1.
Oh,
So
wow.
your $10, no, you don't have to spend it on coffee. You can invest it.
Gotcha.
Nothing wrong with the coffee, but
Love it, love it. And after that, if someone says, yeah, okay, what are the different packages you offer? How can people work with you?
Yeah, so if you get the freebie at the end, there's a pre-recorded webinar you can watch, book a call with me. I'm actually doing a live webinar in a few weeks, so if you get on my list, I'll send you the information about it, but it's called Unlocking the Secrets of the Wealthy, 5 Steps to Passive Income Success. So that's coming up in a few weeks, and I think I have another free gift in there, right, for VIP.
Yeah. Yes.
And that one is, let me look at it here. Oh, it's the 4 shifts I made to create wealth in midlife. So there are different areas. So not just stocks, but there are other passive income streams that I go over in that training.
So you have the whole portfolio, right? As well. It's like it's
Right,
not just
exactly,
one
because it's not just the
methodology.
stocks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I do have a program that I offer. And again, if you watch the webinar or give me a call, we'll talk about that a little more in depth.
And then after that, the personalization. So there are certain things what we can template it, but financials are highly personalized and needs to be discussed and needs to be properly, I guess, I don't know, looked through or scanned through.
Right.
To make sure it's like where you can help. And I'm pretty sure you could come up with different things, right? Where you're like, yeah, let's look into that because that might not be the best place.
That's for you. Yep.
Like that, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there is no shame, right? There is no shame in the whole situation. It's totally fine to start even from today, right? Make the decision.
Absolutely.
And then what happened, mindset shift right now, today, from now on, you need to take care of yourself, even if it's just a little bit wobbly and you are like, yeah, I'm not sure where this is going, but I need that. I need to prepare for something. I need to make now the decision. And I think this year, I'm not sure how you feel, but I feel like this year is like just on fire and really
Yep.
dreams can come true. And if nothing else, then I think this is your sign today to really, it is available. It is there are people out there who are making it, and it's not it doesn't need to be a scam.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And absolutely.
Awesome.
And as you were saying, just make the decision, just get started. And that's always the hardest part for people. And again, like you said, it's the trust factor sometimes, but yeah, just get started, make the decision, say yes to yourself, take that step. You're not alone, right? You can get some help. And I think that's the main thing for a lot of people. Just get some help if you need it.
Exactly, with people you resonate with, right?
Yeah.
The freebie is nothing, right? It's like that's you're not voting to next to anyone, right? It's like
Right.
you just get started, get your information, and whatever feels right, then make your choice. So before we close off this awesome conversation, if there is only one thing that people will remember, what do you think should be the one sentence what people should take away?
No, that's a good one. And I had, at first I was going to say make a decision and get started, but I would say just trust your intuition, trust your gut, because we've talked a lot about, the lack of trust and things like that. And I would say when you find someone, just trust your gut and trust your intuition with whoever you work with, even if you have that little bit of, even if it's an investment, if you're not fully with it, you don't have to completely understand it, but just trust your gut and trust your intuition and just learn to trust yourself.
Yeah, and make sure that you're not acting from fear or from
Yeah.
pressure, right? And
Yep,
I think
absolutely.
that's where the feminine comes into the financials, right? It's like I'm not feeling it is a good enough answer for saying no, right? It's a good enough reason for saying no, and just really, yeah, check in with yourself if that's fear, is that pressure, is that something else, or is that really truth for you?
Right. Good. That's a good point. Very good point. Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here. You really gave me, actually, it's like, let's look into that. And you gave me some hope, I guess, right? That's a huge one as well, because people are like, yeah, I'm not sure, right? Do I want that? Do I want to be scammed again? Do I want to lose money again and face my bad decisions and so on and so forth, right? But
Yeah.
it's so good to hear from people who actually doing it and bringing results. I love that. And that's why
Yeah.
this is.
And yeah, and just to piggyback on that, you're right. Sometimes it is a bad decision, right? But with so many other things in life, you just have to don't shame yourself because of that, right? Just use it as a learning lesson and we move on, we move up, move forward.
Exactly. Always. Always. Thank you very much for sharing your story and the opportunity and give hope to others as well that it is available. And yeah, keep in touch. Links
Will
are
do.
everywhere. Reach out to Alicia, start the freebie, go through that and see if that resonates. And then we go from there. Thank you very much and have an awesome day.